talking about what the process is, and when I help my investors, when I help home buyers and home sellers, I've always come from the mindset that I'm going to teach them how to do it on their own. And the truth of the matter is 98% of them don't. So they use my services. And so I peel back the curtains to all my clients, my viewers, my listeners. I kind of want to go down that route with you, in terms of nobody's going to do this on their own. Listen. And so I want you to kind of be, if you're cool with it, we're going to go through what you have to do. But just before we go there though, Michael, the question that I have is as the investor, I paid the $24,000 and I'm going to get it back. Like, why do they even have that process into play? Like,
I mean, if you think about it, how many people don't go back for it?
Got it.
Right? They do it wrong, or they wait too long. There's a time limit involved. There's paperwork involved, and there's dealing with the CRA.
Right.
So a lot of times people will get a letter from the CRA. They don't even want to open it. They'll give it to their accountant. Yeah. You know, because they just
that brown envelope comes. Buddy, that goes right to the
brown envelopes
accountant.
come, then the people. And to be honest with you, that's what a lot of it is. People just don't want to mess it up. They figure it's a lot of money to get back, and they want to get it done right. That's not to say you can't do it yourself,
right? But
you got to follow through. It's a 2 to 3 month process.
Yep.
You're likely to get a call or two during the process. If you
From
don't
the
answer,
CRA? And they're gonna say,
they might ask to verify. They might ask for some further information.
Got it.
You know, like any government program, they're looking to justify giving you the money back.
Right. And they don't like giving money back.
They never like giving money back.
Quickly,
they certainly like taking it.
Well, quickly, anyways. Let's say that. So, okay, so I bought this condo I'm closing on this condo for $700,000. I paid the $24,000 to the builder. At closing, what is involved? I know what you guys do, and we're gonna like put all your contact info and all that stuff down there. But what is involved? Like, what are you doing now? Like, you're
so I'm
paperwork
gathering,
and all
I'm
that.
gathering
I'm an
documents.
investor, by the way, because 95% of the people that are listening right now that buy a pre-construction condo in my wheelhouse, they're investors. So the end users, I mean, it's actually very simple for them. They don't have to do anything.
They don't have to do
anything. Right? The investor...
Although they do have to do something if it was an assignment sale.
And I want to get into that.
Even before the assignment changes. Once a builder assigns the deal to somebody else,
right,
they no longer want to honor the rebate anymore because they don't know who's using it.
Got it.
Right? They only knew, you know, Joe homeowner bought it from me 3 years before construction. I know he's using it as a primary residence. I'll include the rebate. But I'll verify it before he closes to make sure that's what he's doing.
Right.
Because what a lot of people do is they tell the builder that they're using it as a primary. They don't have to pay back the rebate to the builder. They close it as per normal. Then they get a letter from the government within a year or so.
Okay.
You know, saying, prove to me that you're using it as a primary residence.
And they're asking for like, it's not like a utility bill or anything.
No, they don't want to see utility bill. Well, they want to see that you're actually living in the unit.
Driver's license?
They want to see driver's license. They're going to want to see, you know, deliveries from Amazon or Ubers. They're going to want to see an internet bill. They're going to want to see car insurance. Anything that's located at that address,
right, to
prove that you're a primary residence.
Because back in the day, what you were able to do was just say like, I am living there,
right,
and over time,
and no one checked,
right, and people they were flipping these homes.
Right, but now the CRA got smart. They put a couple of guys from AREA. They just go on with their computer, you know, onto a RIA website, and they see exactly who's living there, who's closed it, who's flipped it, who's sold it. So they're not.
There's, I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars that they were trying to tax on it. So I get the task force and why they did all that.
It's their pound of flesh.
100%. In terms of, so let's go back to the investor now. So what does this investor do at closing? They pay the 24, they get the keys. And now what's the process?
So now they're going to rent the property out.
Yep.
It might be rented out during occupancy. It might be rented out after final close, depending on
let's say occupancy, because majority of them are rented at that time.
So depending on how long occupancy is, if it's usually just 2 or 3 months before final closing, then we can use that same lease.
Okay.
Some builders who wait and 8, 9 months later close, we would probably ask to get another lease or to show that the property will continue being leased.
Does it matter how long that lease is?
Yeah, the lease must be at least 12 months.
Minimum 12 months.
Minimum 12 months.
So it can't be like an Airbnb, short-term leases, none of that. That will not allow you to qualify for the rebate if it's less than 12 months.
Exactly.
Okay. And for anybody who's like listening and wondering why the heck is Jazz taking his time with this and going so. There is so much confusion about this.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I said this on there when we started. It's probably the one thing in the whole process of real estate that is like
no one has
so
the right
misunderstood.
answer. Yeah,
It is
absolutely.
so misunderstood. Hence why I think, from an entrepreneurial perspective, like kudos to you, brother, to see that, okay, A, there's a need for it, and B, there's not a lot of competition. And I think there might be 2 or 3 companies that do this. I only know yours. It's why you're here, and I vouch for what you do. So keep going down this path. So we're gonna make sure that we have a minimum of 1-year lease.
Right.
Okay?
So the investor will close the property and then either be referred to me or find me somehow, and we'll start the process. And the process requires a number of documents to be given. Once we have those documents, to verify what they are, create the application, submit to the government.
Can we slow down and say, tell me what documents? What is it?
Well, so you need the lease.
Okay.
You need a transfer deed.
Okay.
You need a closing statement of adjustments.
Yep.
And then you need any agreement of purchase or
Okay,
any assignments.
Perfect. All stuff that you would have gotten from your lawyer, except
everything
for
will
that
come to you in a
transfer of
package.
deed sometimes doesn't show up. The lawyer doesn't get you that until 9, 12, 14 months later at
Right.
times, I notice.
Right.
So you might not get it right away. Continue.
Right. So you got to press your lawyer because those are
100%.
documents necessary.
Yeah.
Then we create the application, submit to the government.
Okay.
We charge a small fee.
Yep.
And then the process happens, and it's usually anywhere between 6 to 12 weeks.
Yep.
Depending. They randomly select and audit certain files for no apparent reason whatsoever. Or so they say.
And this application, is this something that just can be downloaded from the CRA website? Like it's a certain form?
There's a couple of different forms that needed to be put
Got
in.
it.
There's different names to the forms, and Ontario forms and federal forms. So there's a number. It's probably at the end of the day 12 pieces of paper that
you need
form
to fill out
the
the application, and then
Yeah.
you send that through. You send that to the CRA, and then, as you mentioned, it's about 6 to 8 weeks later.
So the minimum would be about 6 weeks,
Yeah.
could be up to 12 weeks. They'll tell you if it goes into audit, it could take up to 6 months.
Now, if they audit, let's go down that route.
Yeah.
If they audit, what are they doing? Like, are they just
They're usually
asking
just
for proof
verifying.
again now?
They're usually just verifying the documents that you
Got
have.
it. They're not necessarily asking for more, are
They may not ask any questions.
Okay.
You may not even know it went to audit other than the fact that it takes longer than normal.
Okay.